join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. George?
Ready?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
one more God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you. Thank you, George. The mission of our club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. And before we start, I will add some Zoom guidelines. Please mute your microphone when a speaker has the virtual lectern. If you are the speaker, please have your video on so we can see you. While you are muted and want to answer a quick question, hold down your space bar. It will go back to mute when you let it go. Know where the chat button is. If you see it highlighted, then there is a message either to you or the entire group. Click on it to open it. And please, I will add, remember that we are all on camera all the time. So even if you don't see your face on the screen, we all see you. So just feel like you are in a live environment and be present and avoid the distraction if it's not necessary. Back to you, George.
Okay, well, thank you, Pilar. And I guess I'm the presiding officer here today because we have the president and the VPE are both off at some meeting for the district. But one of the things that a presiding officer does is to welcome our guests. And what I'd like to do today is ask each guest to just say hi and tell us who you are and what brought you here. So, Felipe, why don't we start with you? Unmute. There you go.
Yes, hi, everybody. My name is Felipe Garcia. I'm really happy to join this group today. I have a little notion what is Toastmaster mean and how enriching it can be for a personal development, taking control of our communication skills. And if I'm honest, I'm part of the 90% of the people who are afraid to speak in public. And as you can see, my English is not the best. But what the heck, I'm gonna working hard to be on the level. I'm Colombian guy working as a carpenter. I love the topic of real estate investing. As a good Latin American, I'm passionate about soccer, and I'm trying to get back to the habit of reading in my life. I'm currently reading the club at 5 a.m. so I wake up early in the morning. That's me. Thanks for listening.
Hey, thank you and welcome. Let's see, Theo, is that how you say your name?
Thao.
Thao?
Yes. So, hello everyone. Good morning. My name is Thao. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I'm here because I'm interested in improving my public speaking, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I hope we have a nice meeting today.
And I'm sure we will. Thank you. Welcome. Now, let me see. Is this Gurley? Is that how you say your name? Are you muted? I'm not hearing you. No. I still can't hear you yet. No. Not yet. There we go. I can see it coming now. Come on. Try it now. Say something now.
No.
No. Gurley, we'll come back to you in a minute after you connect, okay? And I see that we have Jane. Is that how you, Jane?
Yes, that is my name. Hello, everyone. Hold on, I will start a video of my laptop. Give me a second.
Okay.
I see.
There you go. Very good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jean. I came from China, and I joined this club because I want to improve my public speaking skills, and I enjoy working with people, communicate with people. Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome. Welcome. And we have someone at on their cell phone, 407 or the 1853. Who might that be? And just feel free to unmute if you can. Not yet. Okay. All right. Well, and I see we have, go ahead.
This is Gurley. I think that's my number. Sorry.
Oh, okay, Gurley, tell us. Tell us.
Sorry about that. I figured it out now. My name is Gurley. I am currently living, obviously, in Orlando, Florida. I work in the HR department. Like Felipe, I have a very, very bad fear of public speaking. So this is an opportunity for me to improve and you know, get myself out there and try to get myself more strong skilled on it, because I'm having to do a lot of that lately. So
yeah.
This is a way for me to just try to get myself out of my shell and increasing my public speaking skills. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you and welcome. Okay, and I see we have one more guest, and that's AP, although he's been here a number of times. Why don't you just say hi, introduce yourself?
Well, by all means, thank you, George. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Paul, or AP for short. I am VP PR and president of Good Old Talking Mocks in Lakeland, Florida. So I am a Toastmaster. And as George said, I have been here before, but you know, why not come back again? It's a great club to be at. You're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna learn a lot. So these are great people. Don't be scared. They're kind people.
All right. Thank you,
You're
AP.
in good hands.
We went all the way around, I believe. And I'm
In Japan,
going, yes. Yes. I'm going to turn it back over to Pilar for a moment. Go ahead, Pilar.
Thank you, George. Okay, I will first review if we have all the, we have the timer, which is Marta. Do we have a general evaluator? We don't have a general evaluator. Can we ask one of the guests to participate as a general evaluator? You're mute.
Yeah, I'm sure AP would raise his hand.
Yes.
There you go. All right, thanks.
Okay. So let me type.
Now, don't scare our other guests.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna. Okay, who volunteered to be the evaluator?
AP.
AP. Okay, thank you, AP.
No
And
problem,
do we
Pilar.
have a grammarian? Do we have a grammarian and an accountant?
Do you have a word of the day?
And Kit, can you do that? You were going to be the odd counter, could you?
Sure, I can be the grammarian.
Okay, thank you. Pilar, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay, thank you. So we have a timer, accountant, and grammarian, and the general evaluator. George, I will ask you to be the jokes master, and after I will introduce the speakers.
Oh, you want a joke? If I had one?
Yes, please, George. We enjoy your jokes.
Well,
And
let's see. I'm going to be looking for smiles, although I won't hear you guys laughing. But we do this. I came from a club where we always told a joke right at the beginning of a meeting because we wanted to lighten the mood, because I want to remind everybody we're here to have fun. And so that's why we like to have the jokes in here. So let's see if I can lighten the mood. But the other day, I stopped to get some coffee at one of those not fast food, but a mini mart type place. And when I got the coffee pot, it smelled really strong. I mean, it was really black as asphalt and almost as thick. And I asked the lady behind the counter, I said, "How old is this coffee?" And she shrugged her shoulders and said, "I don't know. I've only been here 2 weeks."
I'm kind of scared. I don't know how to feel about that one there, George.
George, thank you. You're mute, George.
Probably good show, George.
Okay.
All right. So I guess back to me as the Toastmaster. And I choose the theme of the day. I didn't have the opportunity to do it before, but I choose this theme because I didn't have it. I should, okay, so we have a blank theme. So what about blank canvas? Yes, blank canvas. So I quote, as creative person, you want to start with a blank canvas. Perfect. So as a Toastmaster, I feel this is the space like a blank canvas where we can paint a picture with descriptive words. So let's play and fill this canvas with colorful words. How about that? I love it. So now I'm going to introduce our first speaker, who is George Hazard. And George sent us his introduction, and he's working on, let me see, George, you're working on the leading your team pathway, leadership development. And the title of the speech is How Far Can You See? George is working on his leadership development pathway, and today is leading a small team on a project. Let's welcome George on his talk on how far can you see? George, the lecture is yours.
Thank you, Pilar. Thank you. The motivational speaker, Zig Ziglar, always used to say, go as far as you can see, and you can see farther. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I hope to help you see farther. As Pilar said, I'm working on my pathways journey, and where I am right now, I'm level 4. It's asked me to put together a small team for a project of my choice and then report on that. And that's what you're hearing today. But I swear within 24 hours of reading that and seeing that I had a project to do, Sandy DePrimo asked me if I will teach at the Toastmaster Leadership Institute, which is the TLI, or better known as the TLI. I needed a project, and here's one laid right in my lap. But what Sandy didn't know is I didn't know squat about being a club treasurer, and that's what she wanted me to talk about. Yes, I'd been club treasurer once about 10 years ago, but I accepted this because I'm thinking, well, go as far as you can see and you can see further. I'm going to see where this will take me. But the big question is, who can I turn to help me on this team? Because I have limited knowledge of it. And so I needed to look around and find that help. And this is the COVID era, and it might be a curse or a blessing. Well, the first person I wanted on my team is none other than our own Edwin Mercado. And Edwin is currently our club treasurer, and he's the past finance director for the district, as well as a walking, talking Toastmaster rule book. Well, he and I Zoom back and forth together, and he schooled me on the ins and outs of club treasurer, what to do, how to do things. So when it was all said and done, I came away from our meeting having a good basic knowledge of how to be a club treasurer. Well, next, I turned to Michael Nunes. I don't know if you remember, some of you may remember Michael. He was our club treasurer for several years. Well, he and I communicated back and forth, and he gave me lots of files that he still had on his computer. I'm betting that he would like to come back because he saved everything. But he shared stuff with me, and when we were all done with our conversations, I felt like I had a good history of the club and how things were spent in the past, how the monies were spent, and then things that he felt that we could do differently going into the future. But who else could I turn to? Now, I seem to be in a unique position. I'm in 2 Toastmaster districts. I'm here in District 84, Central Florida, but I'm also in another club, which is in another district, and that's District 26 over in Wyoming and Colorado and Western Nebraska. And luckily for me, they had their TLIs first. They did their trainings first, and I went to all 3 of their trainings. And yes, I went to all 3 of their trainings on being a club treasurer. Now, when I was done with those 3 different TLIs, I was thoroughly convinced that I could do what those other presenters had done. They gave me the confidence that I could do that too. And in my ventures over there, I also came across a very experienced club treasurer who's actually from our sister district, District 48, over in the Tampa area. And he gave me more insight into being a club treasurer, and he gave me some very useful files that he had. I could see a little further. And finally, on my team, I Zoomed with Jana Shelfer, fellow Toastmaster, and she helped me with my presentation and getting ready for this. And she gave me all the feedback to help make my presentation more personable. She helped me move stories into my presentation. And when it was all done with our working together, it made my presentation more engaging, made it easier for the people to follow. Now, by now, you're probably asking, well, how did it go? It went all right. No, my presentation, actually there were 4 of them, and it went better than all right. Because after each session, you get the participants, and the participants ranged between 45, in the first session, I think I had as low as 30. So at least 30 to 45 people in every session. And they were asked to do an electronic evaluation, and they did. And I had really good reviews. So I'm thinking, this guy who's only done treasurer once got schooled by his team that helped me bring it through. And in my first session, I had Edwin Mercado sitting in the audience. So I knew if I needed help, he had my back. So thank you, Edwin. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because I came to the realization that you can do this too, because you don't have to have everyone in the same room at the same time. You can just have a project or a task, and then you find the people that are able to fill into that role and do that role. I'm telling you, I grew in knowledge and understanding and confidence. And I'm suggesting, I'm encouraging you, you can too. I mean, just put your team together, do that project, and you can see further. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, George. Thank you for the lesson. And Marta, may I have the timers report for George, please?
Okay, Pilar. Pilar, first I want to explain about the timer for the new people. Maybe they don't know what happened. When the people speak, I'm keep the time for the people, and the George speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and he received the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. This is for the normal speech. For table topics is 1 to 2 minutes and receive green card at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, and the red at 2 minutes. The time for George is 6 minutes, 55 seconds.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you for explaining that to us, because one of the goals on Toastmasters is that we learn how to speak clearly and concise and compress that on a certain amount of time. And as more we practice, we better get to be clear in a short amount of time. Okay, and I will ask if any other speaker are prepared, they're working on a particular path, they're ready to give a speech. If not, I will move on. Is anybody prepared to give a speech?
I think that's an Edwin. I think that's an Edwin raising his hand there.
I'm sorry? Yes.
They're telling that I'm raising my hand. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't see it. I'm in my phone. I'm sorry, Edwin.
Okay, no problem at all. Please pardon me if I am lost, but I think that Marta did a great job explaining what her role is as a timer, but I did not hear she mention what was the time for George.
Yeah, he said it was, yeah.
How much?
He said it.
How much, Marta?
6 minutes, 55 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is nobody prepared to give another speech? I will turn over to the evaluator for George. There is anybody that have a speech prepared? Don't see any hand raiser.
Would you like an icebreaker?
Who's this?
That's Andrew, AP here. If you guys need a second speaker, I can give like a little icebreaker.
All right, are you working in a pathway, AP?
Well, yes, I'm in motivational strategies. I've given this one before at my home club, but
all right.
And table topics. Martha, Pilar, I have a lot of table topics.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, IP. Thank you. And for the information of everybody, when we give a speech, you know, as you wanted to offer now, we must follow a pathway so it will be, you know, on your benefit and the benefit of the club that you fill those roles and to choose an evaluator. And we can do it, you know, anytime just like this. But now we have June with her table topic. Thank you, AP, to step out with that. But I will go to our first evaluator, to George, and this is Mr. Edwin Mercado, and I have to introduce him. Let me open my computer, just closed out. He sent his introduction. Yes.
Isn't table topic supposed to be first, according to the agenda? In between speaker and evaluator?
I'm sorry, let me see here. You are right, Edwin. You are perfectly right. Okay, I'm sorry. So I have the computer, the phone, and the agenda printed here. Okay, so I will give the lantern to June with table topics for today. June?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Edwin.
Does the guest want to participate in in table topics today? Yes, I got yours, AP and Andres. Any of the other guests want to
That's
participate
Andres.
in table
That's a yes
topics?
from Andres.
Felipe, yep.
Love to.
Yes, I
And
have.
Felipe.
Tao.
Yes, I got your response. How about Tao?
Yes, that's a yes.
Okay. And
Yes,
Jane?
I said I would love to. Yes.
Okay.
June,
Right. Mhm.
Edwin here.
Yes.
It
But
would be beneficial for them to know as guests what table topics is, that you explain how is it developed, what it means, and how is it developed. And that way they might be able to determine if they want to participate or not.
yes, I plan to. Thank you very much. So for the benefit of the guests and for everyone, table topics allow us to speak impromptu so that we could develop that speech that if someone calls on you and you do not know the topic, you can just speak. It is something like a mini speech. So you need to have the beginning, the body, and the ending. It's 1 to 2 minutes. So as you are a member of Toastmasters and you continue to be a member, it is always asked of you to do a table topic. So I sent out a notice before for the chat and I did get a few responses. So if you do not want to, please just give me a little finger so I'll see it if you do not respond. So today's table topics, the first question is, how do you think coronavirus is affecting Toastmasters clubs? Edwin.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. It's a pleasure for me to be here after a couple of months out. Coronavirus has affected Toastmasters as well as the rest of all society in the fact that we cannot meet in person for quite some time so far. However, with the unconditional support from Toastmasters International and our district leadership, we learn the skill to learn virtually through Zoom, through Skype, through many other platforms that allows people to come together like we are today. Everybody from home, do you feel comfortable? I hope that you do, that you feel comfortable seated at your dining or in your living room or in your offices at home, at your desk. But it's very nice to be able to see each other even though we are not meeting in person. It has affected us in the sense of that meeting in person because Toastmasters developed this unique way of coming together and network and be very close to each other. For those that are guests, know that we are huggers. Lots of us are huggers. So it's very disappointing that I don't get to go into a library, into whatever meeting space we have procured in the past. And as we are coming along before the meeting starts, shake hands, give hugs, ask each other about our well-being, but it's something that we can still do. So as Toastmasters, we are able to do what we are supposed to do in developing our communications and leadership skills. So shut coronavirus. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwin. Your day at a Zoom meeting. Ankit, your day at a Zoom meeting.
So I would say my day at a Zoom meeting is pretty fun because I can pick my background to be anywhere I want, whether it's on the moon on a beach at a fancy desk that I can't fit into my condo. It's also really nice to have the individual pictures of everyone on the computer. Although, as Edwin mentioned it's certainly not as nice as being able to meet in person and to get that same effect with all the different speakers. So I can't wait to get to meet back in person, although Zoom is a very nice alternative setup. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Ankit. You wear a button on your shirt. Tell us about it, Andres, Felipe. You wear a button on your shirt. Tell us about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
You wear, you know, a button, something that's like a label that is telling us about you. So tell us about you. Tell us about you.
Okay, about me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everyone. In all of my life, I try to fight with my most fear in life. Yes, I'm a stutter person, and for me it's too difficult to speak with another people. But I think this is the word that God gave to me to improve myself. So that's why I'm doing here. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres Felipe. If you can go back in age, what would you tell us about you? Tao, if you can go back in age, what would you tell us about you?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Table Topic, for the question. If I could go back to age, what can I tell you about me? So I was originally born in Vietnam until I was 13, and then I moved to Tampa, Florida. Currently, I'm in Miami, Florida. If I would go back in time, I can tell you that I was born in Vietnam, was living with both of my parents and my sister. My mom, she used to be a teacher, and she had a full-time job. And my dad, he was stay-at-home dad, and he take care of us and drove us to school and took care of things around the house. My sister, she's used to go to school, to college, and she's also helped me with my study. And we usually play tennis around in the yard. It was a fun time. And now I'm here in America for more than 10 years. And, but it was still a good memory back in Vietnam, and everything was amazing back then. Currently, I'm not with my parents. I live separately now because I'm in school. But back then, I was with my family, and that was a fun time. So thank you for the question.
Thank you, Tao. I just wrote a poetry book named Inspiration plus Motivation equal Next Steps. Why should you buy this book? I just wrote a poetry book named Inspiration Plus Motivation Equal Next Steps. Why should we buy this book? AP.
Madam Tabletop Toastmaster, thank you for that wonderful question. Why should we buy that book, you say? Want to know why I think we should buy that book? I think one solid reason we should buy that book, just one, is just one word, 2020. And I know it's like, what does 2020 have to do with all of this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, 2020 has been a year. And that's just putting it nicely. There have been a lot of things, both foreign and domestic, that have been going on. Societal unrest, natural disasters, and of course, COVID-19, can't forget that have gone on. And all the shock, the destruction, the anxiety, the depression, all of these things constantly circling around the collective of sorts, affecting how we relate to each other and with ourselves. It's a time for motivation in a sense. We need that motivation. We need that drive that says, hey, I know the world out there kind of looks not the greatest, but we can fix things. We can still set goals. We can still accomplish these things. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom. Let's just give up. So, June, if their book is offering motivation, if it's offering that hope that we need, then I say, all of you get 10 copies and give it to your friends. All right? You're doing this. Okay, good. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, AP. Let's see. Bob, let me give the table topic. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for, Bob?
So first, thank you for the question. So I'm grateful for everything that life gave me so far. Of course, there's always disappointment. There's always things that we wanted to achieve in life, but for some reason we couldn't, or maybe it's just that it's not a time yet. But I'm grateful for having a family, wife and kids. I'm grateful to have a job, knowing that many people have lost their job during this COVID-19 pandemic. I'm grateful to be in a country where people were given a second and a third chance. If you if you are, for example, in Europe, and you don't go to school or to college before 30, you're done. Everybody would tell you you're old, you can't go back to school. Here in the United States, you can go to school at any time. And that's actually something that we should cherish and something that we should value. So I'm grateful to be here with you also, with your focus, learning, exchanging, and listening to all this good conversations and good topics. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Was Jane hand up to give a table topic? Did she say yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Tell us about your dream to be a teacher. Jane, tell us about your dream to be a teacher.
My dream to be a teacher? So I want to, if one day I could get the chance to being a teacher, I will bring different culture into the classroom, let the people know more about the world, because every person have different background and a different culture, And especially in America, we are like a mixture, right? We are a multicultural country. So I will let people bring their culture into this classroom and communicate. Thank you for your question. Sorry.
No, you're great. Thank you. How are we doing, Pilar? Oh, I can.
One more, June.
One
more. Yes.
Why do you like Toastmasters? Why do you like Toastmasters, Martha?
Thank you, June. I like Toastmaster because it's my opportunity for improve my English. I'm really afraid when I need to talk to people. No, I'm not afraid for speak in public, but in Spanish. It's my first language. I really don't have problems for communicate with the people in my language, but in English is very difficult for me. And I love join the meetings in Toastmaster for is my opportunity for improve and learn about the great speakers in this club. What else? I love know new friends. I have a new friends, and I think the most important part for the joining Toastmaster. Thank you.
I would like to give two inspirations, two motivations to people. I have two stories, quick stories. My father's grandmother was Chinese, who never knew a word of English. And my dad always said that, June, do not worry about anything that you say that people do not understand, because people would be able to understand you if they listen. And he said that because he lived for his life with his grandmother, and she did not know English, yet he was able to go to the supermarket, and he grew up and he lived his entire life. So when he died a few years ago, he reminded me of that. He said, just ask them to repeat what they have to say, or they would, if they nod and they don't understand you, just repeat it again. And also, I worked with people in New York who came from Italy, and they knew no English at all. And a few years later, they were supervisors, they were managers. So if it's any encouragement to all the guests, do not fear to speak in front of people. Just do like me. I came from Trinidad originally. I lived in New York and then Florida, and I just try to speak as slowly as possible so that people would understand what I have to say. And I hope that you have this morning. So congratulations to all the table topic people, and let's give them a round of applause. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you for your words. And now is the time for, please, Marta, give us the timings report for each of the participants.
Thank you, Pilar. The time for table topics. The first table topic, Edwin, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Ankit, 49 seconds. Andres, 50 seconds. Tao, 1 minute, 45 seconds. Andrew, 1 minute 32 seconds. Bob, 1 minute 32 seconds. Jane, 43 seconds. And Marta, 1 minute 22 seconds. Thank you, Pilar.
Thank you, Marta. And I will give the space now for the evaluation. And it's your time, Edwin. And I'm going to read because Edwin sent us his introductions, and Edward will evaluate George's speech. And Edward said that after a couple of months of missing meetings for various reasons, and we know your reason, and we're glad that you are back, Edwin, and you're well. Edwin is here today. He will be evaluating the speech delivered by George Hazard. Edwin expects to continue practicing every now and then. Please welcome Edwin evaluating George. Edwin?
Thank you, Madame Toastmasters. It's my pleasure to be here today, and especially evaluating George's speech. I like from George's speech the fact that he started with a quote from Zig Ziglar, which is an attention getter. It makes you think, what is he going to speak about? Go as far as you can see and you will see further. And he titled his speech, How Far Can You See? Basically, is like a reminder of how did he develop his speech as he developed his project, which is the important thing. I need to focus on his delivery, but he is focusing his delivery on how he developed the project that he had at hand. The first place he started saying, how did he develop his three main points of his speech. The first was explaining what was the task at hand. And he clearly mentioned that he had been asked to train the treasurers at TLI. And he explained that TLI is Trainers Training Leadership Institute. To that extent, you were completely right, George, but I wanted to hear, for the benefit of everyone, but especially the guests, that TLI, or Training Leadership Institute, is a training day that we organize to teach the officers of each and every club what are the tasks that they need to do for being able to fulfill their responsibilities completely. You were not going to enter more into deep, but what is TLI? Why is it placed together? What is the purpose of it? I wanted to hear that and I didn't hear it. The second point is you gave a background of your own competency as a treasurer and explained also how did you organize your team and why did you choose the group of members you chose. You praised on me and that earned you some extra points. It's a joke. Then you explained the results that you obtained as a trainer after you train yourself with so many people from some different areas and district, etc., and you got very good evaluations. So you cover all three main points regarding the task that you had at hand, how did you choose your team, how did you train with them, and then the results that you obtained. Your use of hand gestures was purposely, and your facial expression. Overall, I commend you for all your presentation. Just next time, explain what TLI is for and what the purpose is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edwin. And I will ask Marta for the timers report for Edwin, please.
Edwin, 3 minutes, 18 seconds.
Yes.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Marta. And now I will ask for the grammarian and accountant report from Ankin. Will you please tell us about your report, Ankin?
Sure. For George, I noticed one and a few ands, but overall he was very clear in his speech, and he had a great pace while speaking as well. For the table topics, Edwin, I thought you had good grammar. Just a few pauses, but I didn't notice any ands or ums. Andres, you had a few repeated words, and even though you were still learning English, I thought that you had a really clear speech that was easy to follow. For Tao, I noticed about 7 uhs or ums, but other than that, the grammar was good and it was easy to understand for a table topic. AP, I didn't notice any ums or ands, and you had great grammar. Your table topic was easy to understand, and you spoke with some pretty good, I would say, energy. Bob, you had a few ums or uhs, but your pace was good when speaking. For Jane, I thought yours was easy to follow also, although you're also learning English. I thought that was a good speech and you were clear. Martha, you had a few ums, but it was good to hear you speak. And for June, I thought you had good grammar. I didn't notice any ums or ands. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Akin, for your report. And I will pass the lectern to our general evaluator to evaluate the meeting at whole. And this is AP. AP?
Pilar, thank you, Madam Toastmasters. My bad there. As the general evaluator, my role or the reason I exist is basically to help evaluate the meeting as a whole. What did we do well? What could we improve on? All that is kind of the general evaluator's doing, just for a little quick snippet. As for what we did do well, we did start the meeting at 9:30. Kudos for starting the meeting on time. It is very important and a Toastmasters club to be punctual. Make sure the meeting starts on time. Make sure speakers and evaluators and table topics are all within their allotted time spaces, not over or under, and making sure the meeting also ends on time. So kudos to that. We did have at least one speaker. We did have George. Thank you, George, for speaking. It was a great speech that you delivered, and I took some notes on that. So we did have a speaker, but problem was a little itty-bitty cinch number one. We didn't really have a second speaker. I do appreciate that the club did compensate by this with terms of the table topics. So that was really helpful, but it's usually try to see if you can have someone with a pocket speech on hand, if you can just fill them in, if you don't have somebody on there. And I understand the offer of, having making sure that someone has a Pathways project to deliver on, so at least they get credit for speaking, but just to help fill that void in case if you don't have to speak. So always think about having someone with a pocket speech on hand. It's what I've been taught in terms of Toastmasters practice. We did have some good table topics. Thank you, June. I appreciated that you asked the guests if they wanted to be participated, because some clubs do, some don't, and some don't include the guests at all. But you never know if you have a guest that actually wants to participate. So it's good that you asked. So I appreciate you asking, June. In terms of, I think this is one of the bigger pieces that Edwin, you were touching on earlier. When we have guests at our meetings, it's very important that we explain what functionaries are. All the functionaries. We're talking timer, talking grammarian, talking all counter. What are these things called functionaries, and why do they exist? How they're important to the club meeting. Just give a little brief snippet of that before you launch into your role. I did hear the timer was explained, so the timing rule was explained. We did also have, what else did we have? Tabletop was explained as well, but we're missing the grammarian and the counter, and like in terms of like what they are and what they do. You know what I mean? I did hear Anki, you did give a report. Good job with that. But just have that, and also make sure you have a word of the day if you can. So just making sure you have that. So also building that vocabulary as well. In terms of that, if anything else I want to add from my little report. No, not for this time. I appreciate you guys having me here. Thank you so much. And that concludes my journal value report.
Thank you, IP. And I will be prepared to transfer to the last part of the meeting, but before to do that, I would like to finish with a quote. And it said, "It is so fine and yet so terrible to stand in front of a blank canvas." And today we did just that. We sat in front of a blank canvas. And to our guests and new members, I want to share my appreciation, because somehow today I feel like I remember my first date at Toastmasters a few years ago. And I just so related to the feeling, that you don't know how it will happen and all the nervousness that happened in the first moment. But after a few years, I'm sitting here and being a Toastmaster, and I can see the progress on the experience because we are committed to. So I appreciate your commitment to show today. And I will finish saying it is always the right time to start if you take action. And you did take action today on your own benefit. Thank you for that. And now I'm going to transfer the lantern to our president officer that today is filled by George. George?
Thank you, Pilar. And thank you for reminding us that first day. Some of you, this is your first day. I remember my first day walking in to a Toastmaster club. So one thing, as the presiding officer, as I started out with, I want to go back around the table here and have everyone say something. Oh gosh, there are some members here too that we did not get to hear from. So I'd like to hear from Alicia and Vimila. I always slaughter your name, don't I?
No, that's fine. It's yeah, almost Vimala.
Vimala.
Yeah, but you got it.
Okay. So tell us why you're a Toastmaster. Yes, and show us your dog too.
Okay, stop. Okay. I got him here because he always looks outside and randomly barks. I'm like, maybe this would. Okay, sorry about that. You want me to share my experience?
Why did you become a Toastmaster?
Sure. So to begin with, I think in one of the speeches too, hold on, sorry about that. Try, can you get the dog?
You want to speak too?
Yeah, so to begin with, I feel like communication is very important, and I'm not a native English speaker. So sometimes when I'm nervous or when I'm talking, I kind of speed up my talk or speech or conversation. Mm-hmm. So I want to, I have to consciously slow myself down. I feel with Toastmaster, it kind of helps me in kind of improving my communication as well. And it's a safe space. I really love this club. I went to different clubs, and I felt like here people are really cheering for you, helping you. I get private messages from you guys. It's really motivating. Okay. So that's why I chose this club. It's very helpful to have that safe space is the first thing, and just that help from other Toastmasters as well in motivating and reaching your goals.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
I love being here. I love
thank you.
Saturday mornings.
Wow, we love having you here too.
Thank you.
Alicia, we haven't heard from you today. Why did you become a Toastmaster? Tell us.
Thank you, George. Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to see so many new faces. Okay, so I became a Toastmaster after prompting from someone because I love people. I think I can speak pretty well, but when it comes to speaking openly and in front of people, I freeze and I act like I don't know how to speak. So after shying away from an introduction of one of my bosses, someone said, "You need to join Toastmasters." I was like, "Yeah, I will." And even George, you knew that. I visited the group. I think I'm that person. It's like I observe, I'm very careful, I'm very cautious. And I decided, this is kind of hindering me. And coming into this group, our group, I just love the support. I love the support that even if we mess up or we make a mistake, there is that love and that support and the encouragement. And I desperately need that. So that's why I'm here. I'm wanting to learn how to present, how to articulate. I'm really working on the ahs and ums because I did not know that was a big deal until I joined this group. I thought that was normal. So I am definitely aware of those things now. So I am so happy. Yeah, so grateful to be here. And the support and the leadership and the guidance from George has been really helpful. This group is amazing. So
Thank you, Alicia. All right, now let's continue our journey around the table. Tao.
So my opinion about what I think about today's meeting or why? Oh, okay.
Yes, please.
So I think the meeting went well. We have a lot of participants today, and especially the table topics. We have variety of topics and different answers. We also received plenty of feedbacks. I think time-wise, I think we are okay on the time. I think overall, something I would suggest is to be more efficient on the time or assigning role ahead of time. I do like that while you were giving speech, someone was trying to organize the table topic and facilitate that to speed up the time. So I think that was very helpful. So overall, I think it was wonderful to hearing and listening to different story and learning more about the club. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, who else is on my list here? Jane.
Hello. I have the same feeling as Alicia. She just said that when you're speaking publicly, you just feel freeze. I have the exactly same feeling because I'm not a native English speaker, and Chinese and English, they are super different, right? So when I'm talking to people, I have a lot in mind, but I have difficult time to speak up, to speak out. So that is the first thing. I feel that I need more chance to talking with people. That's the first reason I joined the Toastmaster. And the second reason is, at this point of time, everybody is freezing at home. I think it's kind of like the interaction with people to people. I feel like I'm like a caveman, a cave woman living in a cave. I want to feel connected with people. I want to feel comfortable talking with people. So that is the second concern. A second reason I joined. And the third reason is I want to improve my public speaking skills. And because right now I'm currently looking for a job, I get some interview phone call from the recruiter, and I didn't know what to say. I get super nervous. So I want to improve my public speaking skills, interacting with people, feel connected. And by the way, this is my daughter Freya. Say hi. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for getting the chance to join the club. I'm very glad to have the chance to join the club.
Thank you. Thank you. Where are we? Where? Felipe.
Yes, sir. Okay, so thanks. I'm glad to be part of this in the middle of important people like June in the beach, on the beach, or well, I forget the name, and Tao in the middle of on the forest, really peaceful. So thanks. I want to keep going on this. So see you guys on the next Saturday, or when the next meeting is gonna be. And I'm happy. I'm happy today.
Thank you. And June, you had a question?
Yes, George, remember I told you that I want to improve on my Zoom meetings as far as, all the skills that you need to do to talk on Zoom. So my question today is, during table topics, we had about 4 persons whose screen was blank. There was no face, and I did not know if they had left or if they were unable to do a table topic. So my question to you is, would I be correct in saying that if someone has decided to take off the camera, that person does not want to give a table topic?
Then maybe, I remember hearing a table topic just the other day, and the lady says, I don't want to turn the camera on, my hair is a mess. So what do? If they're willing to speak, but they just don't want the camera on them. But we can throw that out to them.
I'm speaking about if they were on the camera and just as we are doing table topics, they take it off. Is that
It could be, maybe. Vimela was having issues this morning. She couldn't get her camera going, but she was on with us.
Oh, okay. So I can still call on that person.
I would at least offer. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. Right. But Alicia, go ahead.
Thank you, George. I did that, June, but it just so happened, and I've participated in table topics in the past. A call came in from Trinidad from my brother because my mother is not doing well. And so he wanted to talk to me about taking her to the emergency this morning. So that's what that call was about. And it just so happened that it happened at that time. So I want to just explain myself, but I'm usually a part of table topics.
Okay, so I cannot assume that the person don't want to do table topics.
Right, you can't.
I don't think we should assume. I don't think we should ever assume, because we don't know, like George says, we don't know what people are going through. And also, this is just my 2 cents. This is a platform where a lot of people might have some insecurities. Again, it could be appearance. It can be maybe they speak better. They're willing to speak, but maybe they speak better, not being seen. And that can be just for someone who's starting off. And as they feel comfortable with the group, they feel better now being seen as they're talking. So, I mean, again, my 2 cents. I would not. I mean, if they didn't tell you otherwise, if someone didn't openly say to you, I do not want to participate, I would call on them. Give them that opportunity to say, I would prefer not to. Yeah.
Okay, so George, in order for, as a lesson learned, based on what I am thinking about, maybe we should explain to everyone at the very beginning of the meeting how to send a chat.
Yes.
So that when I send a chat out asking who would like to take part in table topics, which I think is the best thing to do before we begin table topics, that the person would know how to do the chat and respond to the table topic person.
Yes.
So can we do that?
In fact, part of Pilar's talk today was to tell everyone where the chat box is down at the bottom. Has everybody found the chat box? I'm assuming yes. Felipe, I don't see your hand up. Okay. Jane, you found it? Okay, the chat box?
Okay.
Yes, I found it.
Okay.
So we can get a yes or no answer.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I looked and I go, oh, 7 messages. And Sometimes you forget to look down there, and that happens too.
Okay, great. Thank you. This is my learning process. This is the area that I want to improve on my Zoom. Thank you, George.
Thank you, June. I think you can see that we are an international type club here. We are from all sorts of backgrounds, and I think that is so terrific. So I hope our guests will return. But what I'd like to do right now is just talk about next week. We voted a while back for us to, every time we have a 5th Saturday in the month, we do table topics. And our next meeting is scheduled for table topics. So that's what we're going to do. I can't say the whole meeting because Sandy, I see, has scheduled a Moments of Truth. And that's a chance for us to self-reflect as a club and figure out what we can do better as a club to be more inviting, to be more welcoming to people. So that's coming up on our next meeting. But the rest of it is table topics. But here's what I'd like to do differently, if you don't mind. All of you come with, let's say, 2 questions. 2 questions you want to have someone else answer. So we can just kind of circulate and everybody gets to answer and ask questions. So, yes, Edwin.
Is there going to be a particular theme for that meeting?
Let's pick a particular theme for that meeting. Any suggestions? I like that idea. That way you can base your questions around the theme, and that's always helpful. So anybody have a thought on? All right, how about perseverance? That sound all right? That'll be our theme. And yeah, all right. Well, I'll send out the messages to everyone, but we are coming right to the end of it. I truly, truly thank all of you for coming today, participating, and striving to be a better person. All of us. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, George. And question, please, yeah. George, quickly. So
go ahead.
Our next
then
meeting
Edwin.
will be August 29th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Awesome.
All right.
It's 2 Saturdays from today.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Edwin.
Yeah.
So it's 1st, 3rd, and 5th Saturdays if there's a 5th Saturday.
Gotcha.
And
so
we get one.
It's going to be all table topics.
Except for the Moments of Truth that Sandy's going to first lead us in, then we'll fill it all the way with table topics.
Okay, you got it. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. Nice seeing everyone. You guys.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
We hope to see all guests that are here today.
Yes.
On the 29th.
Yes, everyone.
Yes.
Are you guys coming back?
We're going to have coffee for everybody next time.